Hello and welcome back. I gotta hold my script here so I can actually see it. Hello and welcome back to the first ever episode of the Mandalorian Preview. Live from Media Hub, I'm rightradio.ca. My name's Eldin Atkin, and this is The Way. So today, we're talking all about the new Mando movie that hasn't come out yet, because it releases this Friday, May 22nd. So, I'm not clairvoyant, so I can't really tell what's going to happen exactly, but I am going to give you my takes and predictions of what I hope will happen. So, jumping into segment one, looking at the trailer. I have a bunch of stills from the trailer, from a couple of the trailers, because there's been 3 big trailers. Number one, what do we see story plot-wise? We have the Shadow Council. So I have at least 3 different images for Shadow Council. We can put the first image up now about the Shadow Council. And the Shadow Council is what's left of the Imperials, I should say. So we've got quite a few big members, but the biggest member that we see currently is Moff Gideon. He, if you haven't seen the first or the 3rd season, spoiler alert, he dies. And the head of the first council is supposed to be Thrawn. He's not there. So we have another image from the actual trailer. This is from the Mando, but the next image is from the trailer itself. And the next image shows I only hunt Imperial war criminals. This is from YouTube. I ripped it from there. And with subtitles on, of course, we see snowtroopers and we see a smaller council now. A couple members are missing. And this seems to be a plot point for what's going to happen in Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, with the next one, we also have we have AT-ATs, which I love the AT-ATs. They're my favorite. Like, these things look so cool. As a kid, episode 5, I loved them. We see them, now they get blown up in the trailer, but good thing to see Imperial remnants, having some stuff there. So one plot point so far looking at the trailer is that Mando has joined Republic Rangers and he's hunting down war criminals. War criminals is kind of interesting because at the time the Imperials were in charge and the rebels were criminals and war criminals, so it'll be interesting to see how that happens. Next up in the trailer, we also see Zeb, who's one of my favorite characters, Zeb Orrelios, who was originally the concept art for Chewbacca that they had scrapped and said, you know what, let's bring it back. So we have Zeb, huge character in Rebels. If you haven't seen Rebels, highly, highly recommend seeing Rebels. Here we have Zeb, Grogu, and Mando. And the next one we have Zeb and Mando on a base, and he's saying, good luck. So having Zeb back is incredible. We saw him in the final season of Mandalorian in the Rangers bar. So having him back is fantastic. Now, it seems like from the trailer, they're going to be part of the team. I hope Zeb plays a big role in this because I, as a character, or as a fan, love Zeb as a character. He is one of my favorites. Next, we have Sigourney Weaver. I've got no clue what her role is going to be in this. She's talking about how, this isn't about revenge. And she seems to be the one giving out bounties. I love this jacket. If I could find this jacket, I would definitely get myself a pair. So I don't know what her role is going to be. Seems pretty big from the trailer. I love Sigourney Weaver, but I really don't want her to play a huge role. This needs to be a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, not Mandalorian, Grogu, and a bunch of other characters that don't really matter because these are standalone characters that haven't been introduced before. Next, we have a back from the dead, which I'm a little confused about, is the Razor Crest is back in the trailer. If you've seen, so from what I've seen, they've scrapped season 4 and made it into a movie. Now the Razor Crest in season 2 gets blown up. So I don't know how it's back. It's back with the Naboo Starfighter colors. We're going to see how this actually I hope they actually tell us how it cuts back, because if they just don't tell us and that's just back, it's going to be really confusing. It got blown up by the Imperials. So that is what it is. I like the Razor Crest. I think it's a cool ship. I hope it actually they make sense of this, because if not, it's going to suck. And then we see another blast of the past. We see Rhoda the Hutt. Now, if you haven't seen the Star Wars The Clone Wars animated movie, we have Rhoda, a.k.a. Stinky. Now, he was Jabba the Hutt's son. And the whole plot of Clone Wars is Jabba the Hutt's son, just so the Hutts are neutral. Separatists kidnap Stinky and say, hey, Jabba, you're going to join the war with the Separatists, and we're going to take on the Republic. So Ahsoka, who was first introduced in this, which is incredible. Ahsoka, Anakin, Obi-Wan have to go, and I think Asajj Ventress was also in this, have to go, well, I know she was, has to go in, like, they have to battle Asajj, save Stinky. Well, now he's all grown up. And then we see a shot of Gladiator Rhoda. And if I had to cut it off, but that's Mando's shoulder. So he's entering the arena. We had a whole conversation yesterday about how Rhoda still should be Stinky. Like, I think canonically he's like 3 or 4 in the Clone Wars movie, so he should still be tiny. Hutts are babies for at least 100 years. So take that with a grain of salt. It is what it is, but he's not the only Hutt we see in the trailer too. We see some returns of the twins. Now, if you haven't seen Book of Boba Fett, some of the main antagonists are the Hutt twins. Book of Boba Fett, obviously Jabba the Hutt's died. Sorry, that happened in like the 80s. So if you're just catching up now, it's been 40, almost 50 years. The twins show up to Tatooine to take Jabba the Hutt's palace from Bib Fortuna, who has been killed by Boba Fett. So Bib is dead. Weird albino Twi'lek. I don't mind his death. The twins show up, and they kind of realize it's not worth it. The Pikes are already on Tatooine. Boba's on Tatooine. It's really just not worth the fight. So they kind of say, you know what? We're going to head out. Good luck. Now, the Mandalorian and Grogu, it seems like they're actually on Nal Hutta, which we haven't really been to. We've seen the Council on Nal Hutta. So if you don't know what that is, it's the very stinky, gross planet that the twins live on. And on Nal Hutta, they have their own palace. And in this palace, they seem to have commando droids, which I thought was kind of weird. This is a still from the actual trailer. And these look like commando droids from the Separatists, but with weird little like antennae on the side, which commando droids don't have. I have no idea how this is going to play into it. I'm really excited to see if the Separatists play a role, if they have a bunch of droids, because we saw that episode of Mandalorian where they had a planet with CIS droids. So that's kind of like the taking into the trailers. There's a bunch more stuff that I've left out for different segments because we have more to talk about. So with that being said, coming up after the music break, we'll talk more about what I want to see in the movie specifically and why. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media at DCSA Media Hub. And we're going to play some music. Here's Snacks by Ludwig Göransson, the amazing, just absolutely amazing conductor for this, live for the Media Hub on riotradio.ca. Hello and welcome back to the Mandalorian Preview. My name's Eldin. I bathed in the waters of Mandalore and I can put my helmet back on. It's going to happen a lot though because it gets really hot in here and it also gets really hard to hear. So I'm going to take this off occasionally, have to go back to Mandalore, get back in the water, try it all over again. So before the break, I talked about the trailer and why I like the trailer and what I think is good about it. Now, going on from there, I want to talk about what I want to see in the movie and what's kind of been shown. So, to start us off, we have some confirmed returning characters. And the fan favorites, the Anzellans, the weird little tinkerers. We have a picture of Grogu and the Anzellans. They're kind of like hanging out. Everyone loves these things. We have Babu Freak in episode, I guess, 8, 9, or like maybe just episode 9. But these Anzellans are different, and apparently Grogu will finally meet Babu Freak. I think it's been confirmed. But we're gonna have 4 Anzellans plus Grogu. This just makes money. What made the Ewoks make money? They were cute. This makes money. They're kind of weird looking. They talk funny. But realistically, they're a good part to have. I think having that like comedic part of these little guys, like they're like 6 inches tall, maybe like, maybe under a foot. They're very fun to have, though. Now, I am going to take the helmet off again because it gets way too hot in there. With that being said, though, we are going to talk about another confirmed character. Now, this confirmed character is one of my absolute all-time favorite bounty hunters that we have not seen since the Clone Wars. So we're going to have Embo. Now, Embo is such a cool character. So I want to get a picture of his dog, too, because he always has a dog. He's got that cool disc helmet that he can throw off like a boomerang of doom. Kind of like Captain America's shield, but it's on his head. He always has a big crossbow. Kind of looks like a Wookiee bowcaster, but it's a little different. And he has this weird, like, dog. It's not like a loth hound. It's not like a, what are they called? Like a Minoc or a Womp Rat. It looks very much as a standalone. So we have this Embo. It's like kind of, I think this is when like Mando gets captured, quote unquote. We're not really entirely sure what's happening in the trailer. Next picture, we have also just Embo, a different shot. Because this just looks so good. Like live action Embo. We saw live action Cad Bane, and we get live action Embo. I am very excited to see this. I've always loved the bounty hunters since, I guess, episode 4, when we meet them all. Like Bosk, Dengar, Forlom, Zuckuss, and obviously Boba Fett. All-time favorites. Love them in the books, and like that, like, this is just incredible. So with this being said, we have Embo. I really hope we actually get to see Boba Fett as well. Because we have Boba Fett and Fennec Shand. Now, unfortunately, rip to the Gamorrean guard in the background. He does perish in Book of Boba Fett, and it was a very, very, very hard moment for me to watch. So, those Gamorrean guards, they were real ones. Now, with that being said, though, I really want to see Boba Fett. I love this armor. I love the helmet. I love Fennec Shand being back. I want to see them in the movie because we have Embo. Like, show me Boba. Boba hates the twins anyways. Like, have him go help Mando. Hopefully I don't spoil anything for myself because it's going to really suck. We're going to hope for the best. Then we have Hera Syndulla. So Hera, I love Hera. She's one of my favorite characters in Rebels. She's like a stand-alone mom, a stand-in mom for Ezra. Her parents were her dad was Cham Syndulla and his wife, I can't remember, who were designated terrorists during Vader's reign. They also fought in the Clone Wars. Very cool. Ryloth is the planet they're from, which I just remember now, Ryloth. So Ryloth is where they're from, and like there's so many good books with them, so I'm really excited to see this. We saw her in Ahsoka. If it's tailored around the New Republic, she's a commander. So I hope to see her in that. I really hope. And then with that being said, you know, what other character do I want to see returning? Well, if you watch Ahsoka, Thrawn is out of that galaxy, and now we might have Thrawn. Now, live action Thrawn, I love Thrawn. Like I've been a Thrawn fan for a long time. Like Heir to the Empire. I've read all the Thrawn Ascendancy books. He is so good. He's at the Legion of the Dead, or what they're called. Such a cool character. And I really, really want to see, like, at the end of Mando, you know, does Thrawn come in, and that's kind of like, even a post-credit scene. Just show me that. Tie this into something. So, I don't have any more images for this segment, but what I really want to see is what's happening in the wider world. We haven't seen Nal Hutta. Like, we've seen it in the comics, obviously. We've seen it in the cartoon. We've never seen live action. So what's happening in Nal Hutta? What's the New Republic doing? What have they been doing? We know that Mando is kind of like he's like a hit squad now. He's going around killing warlords, which is fine to me, but like, that's not a very good story. Like, all he's doing is going around like, just like, okay, I'm going to kill you, get the bounty. Like, that's just, it's less of a bounty hunter and more like a hit for hire kind of thing, which I guess is a bounty hunter, but still. And I really want to see like new locations. Now, I keep mentioning Nal Hutta. It looks amazing. We also see a couple other spots in the trailer, like that weird ice planet. That can't be Hoth, so what's it going to be? Like, I want to see new locations. This is a movie. This is a 2-hour and change movie. That's a lot of time to show me new locations. We saw Scarif in Rogue One. I want to see new places. And like, Rogue One did so well, in my opinion. Some people disagree. That for what it was, because it was a standalone. We knew the story of how Death Star's plans get to the rebels. How did it happen? How is this going to tie into the wider Star Wars world? Because we know that after everything that's said and done in Mandalorian Season 1 to the end of whatever this Mando universe is, Episode 7 has to happen. So how are we going to get there? So I really want to see how that goes, and I'm really excited. I hope it goes well. Now, coming up after the break, we're going to talk about what I don't want to see, because there is quite a few things I don't want to see, and I have read through some like early people's reactions to that. I'm going to really hope. I'm really hopeful. I don't want it to be a solo. I don't want another solo movie. So don't forget, you can follow us on social media at DCSA Media Hub. Now, from here, we're going to play another song. Now, all the music is actually tailored towards Season 1 of Mando, Season 2, and Season 3. So now we're going to play A Mandalorian and a Jedi by Ludwig Göransson, live from the Media Hub on riotradio.ca. Hello and welcome back to the Mandalorian preview. That was a shorter music break, so I couldn't get back to Mandalore, so unfortunately I'm not allowed to wear the helmet. So I'm a bad Mandalorian. But, with that being said, we're talking about, what I don't want to see in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Now, obviously, if you've watched any of Screen Chat, if you've watched any of anything I've talked about Star Wars, I'm a bit of a Star Wars hater. And I think I can say that because I'm also a Star Wars lover. I love Star Wars. I hate what they do to it. So since Marvel's taken over, it has taken a plunge in a lot of ways. Some of the animated stuff is incredible. Some of it not so much. Like Tales from the Empire, Tales of the Jedi, Tales of Criminals, or whatever it's supposed to call. I love those. Maul Shadow Lord, absolutely love them. Bad Batch, Season 1 and 2, great. Season 3, pretty terrible. Skeleton Crew, started off really good, ended terribly. Even my mom said that. So if mom who seen all the original 6 and was like, oh, this is really fun, and then be like, oh, that's the ending? That was terrible. So you kind of know it's going down. Ahsoka, fantastic. Mando Season 1 and 2, great. Season 3, wasn't a huge fan. So with that being said, what I don't want to see, plus kind of expectations. Now, I do want to mention, we do have a really cool Yoda callback. So we have this picture of Grogu kind of like meditating. Now, this was actually the end scene of the second trailer, and it's the opening scene of the first trailer. So we see Grogu kind of meditating. I really enjoy this aspect. We don't even know what Yoda's species is called. And we have now 3 of them. We have Yaddle, Yoda, and Grogu. Now, Yaddle met a very terrible end. If you've seen Tales of the, I think it's Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Empire, it tells you that. And then we have, Yoda who dies of old age, which happens. Luke asks too many questions and he just says, I'm good, and that's it. So with that being said, Yoda callback, is Grogu going to be the new main character? We have a shot from the trailer where he's wearing his little Beskar plate with the mud horn. He's saluting. Sigourney Weaver's like, go get him, be safe, and he salutes. Very cute. My only concern is, if we're going to have Grogu become the main character, he's a puppet. I love Muppets. I love this. But how is he going to do a lot? Mando it's the Mandalorian. What is he going to do that makes this worth it? He doesn't even have a lightsaber. He's got little packs on his arms that shoot paint. That's about it. So I'm a little concerned to see how this is going to go, because as cute as he is, this action moment really I love because he just salutes. I'm not super excited. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of like a tie-ins to how this is supposed to go, because if we're going to actually have this movie make sense in the universe, it needs to actually show a tie-in to Ahsoka. It has to tie into Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, maybe Skeleton Crew, maybe, I don't know. I guess it has to tie into all these things. Ahsoka, where do we leave off? Ahsoka, and Sabine, and Shin Hati, and Baylan Skoll, all off the dome, are stuck on that planet. They're by themselves now. So Ahsoka, main character of the show, is now stuck on a planet while Ezra is coming back. So Ezra's coming back in the main universe. We have Ezra, we have Zeb, and we have Hera all in one area. They're in the main universe. And we also have Thrawn coming back. So how is this going to end that actually makes sense? I've seen some comments online saying this movie has no stakes. The funniest thing is about Rogue One is there was technically no stakes. We know how it ends. They're not going to fail getting the Death Star schematics to the rebels. We know that can't happen. But they all died. And that's a big part. Because that shows that as much as there was nothing to lose, they all lost. And that's the crazy thing, right? For a movie that we knew how it had to end, they did an amazing job with building up characters in only 2 hours. Now, the Andor TV show did really tie in these characters and create them and made them a lot better, in my opinion. But before that, we didn't know who they were. They were just who's Andor? Who's Cassian Andor? Who is K2SO? Who are these characters? Those are my 2 favorites, obviously. Who is Jyn Erso? Who are these people? Who is Galen Erso? We don't know who these people are. And it really tied in and made it so good. Who's Orson Krennic? Like, who are these people? And they did a great job. We even got to see like Tarkin. They did an amazing job with that. Then we have Solo. We know Solo has no stakes. What's going to happen with Solo? He becomes Han Solo. Okay, how did he get Han Solo? Oh, he made a mistake and said he's Solo. I'm by myself. Oh, you must be Han Solo. Stupidest thing in the world. Oh, half the movie, we don't have an actor who can act. Oh, well, we'll teach him towards the end. Oh, cool. We see Chewbacca. Best part of the movie. Seeing Chewbacca. Period. Then we get Crimson Dawn. Who's Crimson Dawn? Oh, you don't know Crimson Dawn? You didn't know that's Maul Shadow Empire? Oh, well, we'll introduce that in like 6 years' time because that hasn't actually been done yet. Oh, okay. Here at the very end, Darth Maul. If you didn't watch Clone Wars, how was he back? Like, there's a lot of issues with Solo. I don't want that for this movie. I do not want that. What I do not want to see is cliffhangers. It's a movie. We know it's going to tie into Ahsoka. Do not end on a cliffhanger that I have to then wait a year for the TV show to come out. I'm going to lose interest. It'll be over. I'll have to rewatch it, and I hate having to go back and rewatch to understand what's happening. It needs to be... It can't be cut and dry, obviously, but it can't be that big of a cliffhanger. Thrawn comes back. Show me the Empire getting ready. Show me the rebels. Set it up. There's a setup versus a cliffhanger. Very different. The end of Lord of the Rings Two Towers is not a cliffhanger. It's a setup. What makes that so good is it sets up the third Return of the King. Like, it makes sense. Don't make it a cliffhanger. Like, that can't work. How Rogue One ended is about 4 minutes removed from how A New Hope starts. That makes sense. Don't make it a cliffhanger and then make me wait a year, because I will not be happy with that. Obviously, Disney doesn't care. Who am I? I'm a Canadian podcast bro. What does that even mean, right? So I don't want that. I don't want tacky callbacks. If you've watched other screen chats, I hate nostalgia bait. Now, obviously, for the first 10 minutes of the show, I talked about nostalgia bait. Like, there's characters coming back that I love, but don't make it like, oh, that's R2-D2, that's C-3PO. Like that, don't throw them in there for no reason. If we have tacky callbacks that don't help anything, it's not going to make sense. If Rhoda mentions Leia and calls her the Hutt Slayer, love it. Absolutely love it. Happy to see that. The Hutt Slayer is what Leia is crowned, because she's one of the first people to kill a Hutt in hundreds of years. Like, that's cool. Maybe we see Luke, but don't make it a throwaway with like a random like one-liner that, like, oh, Luke would say that. Like, it has to make sense. And my last thing I want to talk about, now, I've heard this online, a long episode of The Mandalorian. That is what this is going to be. It's going to be 4 episodes compiled into one. It can't be anything else. You can't have an established TV show that's not going to... Like, if you watch anime, what are anime movies? They're just a long episode. So you can't have this not be a long episode. So some people online are like, oh, I expected this and I expected that. Well, if Andor came out first, then you watched, Rogue One, it would be a long episode of Andor. So it doesn't, like, you can't have it both ways. It's going to be it's going to be a Star Wars movie that's established now off of 3 different TV shows. It's going to be a long episode. Suck it up. I did find this image online that I absolutely loved, and it shows, like, what is this movie going to be? Because we haven't really seen much in the trailer aside from, we have Rhoda the Gladiator Hutt, Embo, who we haven't really seen do much, and then Pedro Pascal from Gladiator 2. This, I don't want it to be this. I don't want it to be just like an action-packed, like, Rhoda's fighting, and Embo's fighting, and Pedro's fighting, and, like, actually have it make sense. Make it have a story that makes sense to me. Because if it's just 2.5 hours of fighting, that's entertaining, but doesn't add to anything. So, with that being said, this has been the one and only episode of The Mandalorian Preview. Now, check in next time, which probably is next week, for the Mandalorian movie review, where I hopefully Dan, Justin, and I are going to all talk about it. Now, next week, well, I guess actually tomorrow, we're going to go see the Mandalorian movie on Thursday. And I'm really excited to see it. I really hope good things. I don't want to be a hater. I really just want to enjoy it and be like, oh, that was fun. So with that being said, please don't forget, you can follow us at the Media Hub, or I guess from the Media Hub, on social media at DCSA Media Hub. Thank you again for joining us today. This has been the Mandalorian Review live from Media Hub on riotradio.ca, playing us out from the brand new 2026 Ludwig Göransson Mando movie album, we're playing Rhoda. Live Media Hub on riotradio.ca.